Hello again. Now, 7 months after the July unrest, investigations into the chemical spill at the United Phosphorus Limited plant in KwaZulu-Natal have revealed that extensive mop-up and rehabilitation operations are proving successful. Meanwhile, experts are monitoring possible acute and chronic public health risks. UPL's Conubia warehouse was torched during the July unrest. The fire resulted in contaminated water seeping to the sea in Durban, endangering local marine life. Since the chemical spill, beaches on the north coast have remained closed, and this has affected tourism. Well, let's get an update now and speak to Japhet Ncube from UPL South Africa. Mr. Ncube, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. First up, I see that your company gave an update yesterday to the Portfolio Committee on Environment, Forestry and Fisheries. How did that go, and what was the message that UPL gave to the MPs?
Good afternoon, Braden. Like you said in your intro there, yesterday's sitting of the Portfolio Committee was for us, in part, to give a brief on what we have done since that fateful day in July last year, when our leased warehouse in Conubia was torched to the ground, causing that chemical spill, and what efforts we have made since then to mitigate the impact of this spill. So what we did yesterday was to give information to the department. This information comes from our team of experts that UPL has hired to deal with this spill. So they were updating Parliament on what we have done so far.
Okay.
And I'm glad to announce that it shows that the efforts are bearing fruit.
Okay, so what has been done in practice? I mean, is the spill, are we now over the spill? Is the area now safe from the polluted chemicals?
What we have done, but then you will remember last year in November, some of the beaches were reopened that had been closed as a result of this spill. This was after a report that was done by these experts, which was peer-reviewed in London, by the way, which showed that it was safe for people now to go back to the beach. So what these teams have been doing since July last year, when this incident happened, was to test the water, the sediment, the sand around the areas that were affected, and cleaning up to make sure that the impact is minimized. So we are now at a point where we have taken samples. They were actually taken this week on the 2nd, to see if we can begin the process of revegetation of the affected areas.
Okay, so the contaminated sediment has now been removed, and you are testing the water again to see what next to happen. I mean, this is quite a costly exercise. How much have you spent so far, and by when do you think you'll conclude the cleaning up of the spillage?
We've spent over 300 million rand, Braden, to clean this mess. It's quite a serious blow to us as a company. UPL is one of the key players in the agricultural sector, so an incident like this goes far, far, far beyond the violence and looting that we saw in July. Costly exercise, it's going to be an ongoing process to make sure that we clean up until the entire area is completely safe. So it's going to take a while. We don't know when this will happen, but so far we are pleased that there's not been any health impact on the communities around the area.
So there are no health hazards that are lurking around that area because of the spillage?
Not so far. In November last year, our experts were able to check the health impact, and we are happy to say there's not been any reported case of anyone being sick or anything like that.
Okay, is UPL committed to on long-term monitoring of the situation? And finally, is UPL going to be thinking about how to make sure that this does not happen again? I know you can't predict looting and unrest.
Yes, we are committed. We are working continuously with the Department of Environment and Forestry, as well as the KwaZulu-Natal eThekwini municipality. We work there with them all the time. We hope that something like this won't happen, but as you know, even from the report that the President released on Monday, nobody could have foreseen this happening. The state security systems were caught unawares. The entire country was caught napping, so it's something that we also couldn't foresee, but we hope that in future such things won't happen. However, I think what we have done since July last year is a very good example of what companies working together with government and other stakeholders can do when an incident like this occurs.
Yeah. Okay, but finally and very briefly, Mr. Ncube, so I saw some reports earlier from environmental activists saying UPL did not store the chemicals properly. So are you confident that going forward your storage facilities will be improved?
Absolutely, Braden. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. That's Japhet Ncube speaking on behalf of UPL South Africa. It looks like there has been progress, of course, to clean up that chemical spill after their factory there in the northern part of Durban in KwaZulu-Natal was torched during the July riots. More than 300 million rand already spent to clean up, and they are committed for an ongoing service of monitoring.